Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Colorado Avalanche throwback series here in NHL 19. So in last episode I showed you guys the draft class. Well, it is changed because I asked you guys a question on Twitter and on Facebook if we should turn off the salary cap, because back in these days there was no salary cap and majority of you guys said to turn it off, so I had to restart the GM mode. So the draft class has changed slightly, but now the players that we made are like going into like the top 10. So as you can see, Sedin, Zetterberg, and the other Sedin, all top 3 players. So those guys are all like 80 overalls. And then also Bear Jackman's supposed to go now top 10 as well. We have, where is it? Patrick Stefan's supposed to go right at the end of the first round of the 31st. And then Craig Anderson and Ryan Miller, I think, are supposed to be like second rounders. There's Ryan Miller, so I must have already passed Craig Anderson, but whatever. So yeah, that's anyways the draft class now. So in this episode, we're going to do a tiny bit of simming, and we're not going to try and go really that far. I just want to kind of take it really slow with this series so far, just because it is a series that I put a lot of work into, and we have like so much time to do this, because like if I continue the series all the way up till like August or something like that, like that's 6 months of simulating and stuff like that. So we're gonna just probably go up to like the deadline in this episode at the very farthest, maybe January 1st. We're gonna go like a couple weeks at a time, just take it slow, see how players are doing. Actually, I should show you guys the line changes that I did make, because I made some line changes as well regarding our team. And yeah, just suggest any trades and stuff like that for next episode. I'll show you guys the trade block once we finish the episode pretty much. So as you can see, Milan, Hayduk, and Christopher are on this third line, so I did give them some power play time, because these youngsters, they're all like 22 and 23. These guys are our future pretty much, and these guys are, well, Forsberg's actually kind of our future as well. Sakic will be probably, but I don't know how long until he retires, because with this, you never know with the ages and stuff like that. Like, he could play still till 36. So. And then Lemieux's probably on his way out within the next couple of seasons, I think. And then I think, the penalty killing, I think I left the same. 4-man power play, I changed it up a bit as well. Theon Fleury's on the point, or Theo Fleury. So yeah, Fleury's on the point on the second line one as well. So I have a lot of forwards on the power play, but I think it should help out those youngsters produce and grow, which is what I want. So we're going to do the preseason and see how we're doing in the preseason. So let's just go all 7 games of the preseason, see how we do. Our first one is against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, and we win 3-1. Then we beat the Oilers, not a surprise. Yeah, this team is really dynamite, so it's not a surprise that they're doing good in the preseason. SHL, we beat them. Calgary, we beat them. Yeah, this team is really good. And we lose to Vancouver, which is a surprise, because Vancouver is one of the worst teams, I think, in this build. So let's take a look at the stats for the preseason, just because why not? I'm going to be keeping track of player stats for the regular season and for the playoffs, like for all 659 players I made. So Theo Fleury led the way with 13 points in those 7 games. Forsberg 12 points, Sakic 10 points. Looks like most of it was power play points, actually. Deadmarsh had 10 points as well, so this youngster is producing pretty good. Hayduk 9 points, and Drury was also point per game. Everybody else was just below that. Claude Lemieux didn't play that good, which is not good. He put up more penalty minutes. Hopefully he plays better during the regular season. Our defensive core doesn't look like it puts up much numbers, because we don't really have an offensive-based defenseman. Most of them are defensively minded. And yeah, so that's that. And then our goaltending, probably just Patrick Wall was in it, right? Yeah, Patrick Wall went 6-1. Nice, 928 save percentage and a 1.99 goals against average. Pretty good preseason. Okay, so let's get to the season opener. We're just gonna we're gonna slow sim the season opener, just because why not, against the Dallas Stars, and then we're gonna probably go like maybe a couple games at a time, like 10 games at a time. Assign scout. No, thank you. I don't need to assign the scouts. Okay, so our first game of the season is on the road against who actually won the Stanley Cup in 1999, and that's the Dallas Stars. As you can see, it's at the Reunion Arena. I have every team having their actual arena name from back in those days as well. So we play at the McNichols Sports Arena. I think it is, not the Pepsi Center. Unless that is the Pepsi Center now, it is. So here you go. First game of the regular season. I'm also game number 1. Let's see what happens here. We're gonna slow sim the entire game because I just want to see how the players play. Just because this is a pretty unique series, because I don't think anybody's ever built a roster this big in any of the current NHL games. Like, I think I did way back in NHL 17, like the 2004 rosters, but it was nowhere near as good. So scoreless after 1. Shots are 12-9 in favor of us. Both these teams should be pretty good playoff teams by the end of the season. And Guy Carbonneau opens the scoring for the Dallas Stars. Can we tie it up with a power play goal? No, we cannot. Power play again. Yeah, it's probably because Ed Belfour is a really good goaltender too. Yeah, I'm not surprised that it's a really tight game because both teams have good goaltending, good offense, good defense. So if we ever have to play them in the playoffs, I'm going to get scared. And Sandis Ozolinsh is going to tie it at 1 for us. And then Adam Foote scores. So say what I want to do about our defense not being much offensively minded guys in the preseason. Well, both the top 2 guys on our defensive core have goals. Nice. Also, if you have not seen the first episode, you could go check that out. It shows our roster, and Joe Nieuwendyk ties it up late. And we are going to overtime. Will this game end in a tie? Because there's no shootouts, remember? Power play for them, and they're going to win it in OT. It's Mike Medano. And we don't get any points out of that, I don't think, because it was an OT loss. Let's take a look at the events stuff. So Ozolinsh from Drury and Hayduk, and then Foote from Yale and Ozolinsh. Yeah, and their top line played really good. It had 2 points each. Not a surprise, though. Yeah, since we lost that game, we got no points. But if we win OT games, we get 2 points. If we tie a game, we get a point. So we want to at least take the tie. We don't want to lose in overtime. Okay, so let's do a bit more of the season simulation. So let's go all the way up to that's 7 games, 9 games. Let's go all the way up till this Ottawa game at the end of the month. See how we do. We're going to try and take it a little bit slow because, like I said, I just want to make sure this series is good, and that we're simulating good enough. So we are 1-1-1 so far, technically. 2-1-1. It's kind of weird that they put in the extra, like, one's regulation losses, one's ties, one's OT losses, but the OT losses, it doesn't make sense because the OT losses are no points as well, so they should technically put that one as the losses thing. And we already have our first injury, which is not good, and it is to Sylvain Lefebvre. Okay, so that's going to put in John Clem, I guess, into our lineup, which is not bad because John Clem's in 81. And also with morale off and stuff like that, at least he's not going to lose morale because of ice time. 9-0 over Detroit, really? That is highly unrealistic, but I'll take it. And the Canucks are playing bad so far, which is a good sign because that means they might actually be able to draft one of the Sedin brothers at the draft. And it'll make it somewhat realistic. If Detroit's a really bad team somehow, then they'll be able to pick up Zetterberg, but I doubt it. And last game before we take a look at the player stats so far, and it's a 4-3 wins, so pretty good start to the season. We are basically 6-3-1, I think. Yeah, 6-3-1, pretty sure. Because the 2 is like, yeah, it's hard to explain this, like, because it should just say like 6-2 or 6-3-1, not 6-2-1-1. It's kind of annoying. So Milan Hayduk's got the most points so far, 8 points in 10 games. It must be the power play clicking for us at the moment. Okay, maybe not, because our power play's only got like a couple points so far. But yeah, Hayduk, Lemieux, Deadmarsh, Drury, Fleury, all playing good. Where's the heck is Joe Sakic? Forsberg's down here at 5 points in 10 games. Damn, that's weird. And Joe Sakic also only 5 points. Huh. The top line just is not producing that much. That's weird. They'll eventually turn it around, but that is a weird start for sure. I could almost confirm that we're going to be a playoff team this season, though, just because of the fact that there's a lot of weaker teams in the NHL. So I think we should be able to make it. But at least it the system for the standings and stuff is different, because back in those days it was like the top 8 teams would make it, but now there's actually like the divisional wild card and whatnot. So yeah, it's kind of a different system in that way, and I wish I could revert it so it was like the old way, but there's no way to do that. So 6-4-1 going into November. Let's go another. And you know what, we're going to take it like a month at a time like what we normally do. But like I said, I want to go up to maybe the deadline at the furthest, or maybe January the 1st. Just because I want to like kind of, yeah, savor the first season at least. And we've lost 3 games in a row, so that's a bit of a shocker. I think that 4 games in a row. What is our problem? 2 games against the Flyers as well, and there's a nice win. And then we get it tied, so that's a point. And then no points in that OT loss. Yeah, we're struggling a bit so far. I don't know if it's because of our penalty kill or what it is. Yeah, I'm surprised we're playing like this right now. Hopefully we could, maybe it's just because I said that I could confirm that we're more than likely going to be a playoff team, but who knows with this type of record. Okay, so let's see, last couple games of this month, there's a nice win over the Calgary Flames, and we got an injury to a forward, and that is Sean Poden, who's, I think, on the 4th line. Yeah, that's a 4th liner, so that's not much of a problem. He's a good penalty killer, though, but we're going to have to replace him with Jeff Odgers, who's an enforcer, so we got our physical guy going into the lineup. There's a nice 2-1 win over Germany, and we beat Nashville as well, so yeah, we turned it around at the end of the month a bit, but we're still struggling, it looks like. I could be wrong, though. No, we're currently in the first wildcard spot with 25 points. Okay. Anaheim's also there, San Jose, LA, surprisingly, and Edmonton. Yeah, Vancouver's all the way near the bottom, and Calgary as well, so that's good. Czech Republic is struggling. Who else? Montreal. Damn, that is not a good season. 5-17-2. Tampa Bay also not playing that good. And then Nashville's the worst, or tied for the worst in the Central Division. And Hajduk continuing to lead the way with points in 17. Okay, so we're actually not playing that bad so far. It's just kind of weird to see a record like this being a playoff team, but that's what happens with when you put in ties and whatnot. Because there's teams getting in that were like 41-41, for an example, getting into the playoffs back in these days. So okay, let's just continue scouting, or not scouting, whatever it is, simming. So we got our first trade offers. So our first and a 4th, and Matt Skiertson, who's one of the only prospects that are still in this for Colorado, for 2022nd to 2023rd, and Craig Janney. This deal doesn't really make much sense because we already have a lot of good forwards, and I don't really think giving up our first in this deal is making much sense. I don't really know how the trades are going to really work in this series. Adam Foote was never injured, but it'd be interesting if we got like Nolan Foote at the draft or something like that, because obviously if we got Nolan Foote, we already have Adam Foote. But we can't get Cal, because Cal, I think I assigned him to Europe, and that's why he's not in this for like Tampa Bay. So there you go. Okay, we're winning some games now, which is good, probably getting us up there in the standings after a bit of a struggling month of November. Sakic was never injured. Game against the Rangers and Wayne Gretzky, it looks like they're playing actually really good, which doesn't really make sense because the Rangers missed the playoffs, I think, back in these days. We're going to go replace player because Sandis Ozolinsh, our best defenseman, went down. So John Clem is now in the lineup, which is okay. I'm fine with John Clem getting top line ice time anyways, because why not? He's a solid defensive defenseman for the most part. Okay, so let's see. Ozolinsh going back in here. I don't know if any of these guys are going to get much growth, the older guys. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how these players grow and whatnot. Last 3 games of the month, and Adam Foote now goes down, so that's our other top defensive pairing player. We beat LA still 2-0, and then we tie with the Ducks, or the Mighty Ducks. And Sweden, we lose to them somehow. Wow, we lost to one of the worst teams. Okay, so let's take a look at the standings quickly. So we're basically 18, 15, and 6, I think. So yeah, we're second, only behind the San Jose Sharks. San Jose's playing really good. Vancouver's at the bottom of the division, so that's good as well. They're actually the 3rd worst in the league, so they might actually get Henrik Sedin at the draft if it continues like this. And now Joe Sakic leads the team with 33 points in 39 games. I don't know why he only has 8 goals, because he's more of a combination of both of those, like sniper and playmaker, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll take a look at the player stats, because why not? We're on January the 1st, and then we're going to try and go a little bit more. So Sakic 33 points, Forsberg 29 points, Hayduk 25 points, Fleury 23, Lemieux 21, and Drury 20. Everybody else is 18 and below. Dale Hunter's even got 13 points on that 4th line. Nice. I'll take that. Our worst point producer. How the heck does Jeff Odgers have 5 points in 5 games? Like, I didn't make his offensive stats that good. Like, look at his offense stats. Like, 80 offensive awareness. His shooting category is not that good. His skating is alright. And then his deking and stuff is horrible. So I don't know how he put up 5 points in 5 games. But thank you, Jeff Odgers. And yeah, our worst is John Clem, who is also a depth guy with 4 points. Goalie-wise, so far, Waugh has been killing it, and Billington's been pretty solid in backup, but he hasn't got the W's, and it looks like he hasn't played full games. Any assists for Patrick Waugh this season? No, he has none, and none for Billington. Let's just continue assimilating for now, even though I don't really want to rush this. Like I said, we might be able to go another month and a half, maybe we'll go up to February the 1st, yeah. I think that's good, because that's like a month before the deadline, and then we could take a look and see if there's been any trades around the league already, and then I'll go over the trading block for you guys. So there's back-to-back shutouts to start out the month, and AHL player gets injured. Okay, that's fine. Foote is back. Was he actually injured again? I can't remember. I think he was. Yeah, because we had John Clement. Yeah. Okay, good, because I almost didn't put Foote back into the lineup, which would have been a big mistake, because obviously he's one of our best defensive defensemen. So our first rounder and Janik, who's a prospect guy for a 2nd and a 3rd, no thank you. I don't want to give up our first like that, because, well, the first round this year in 2019 is not that good. I don't really care about the AHL at the moment, because it's not got any good prospects in it. But yeah, what was I even saying now? Oh well. But let's continue the simulation. We're going to check the trading block, and so we get to February the 1st. Hopefully there's some decent pieces available that could help us with a cup run. Not that we really need any good players, because we already have a really good team. But we could always upgrade out like the 4th line role, like find a better 4th line center, because there's no morale. I just want to keep it kind of realistic if we could. 2nd and Geertsen for a 3rd and a 4th. No, thank you. And our last trade offer, Pilon, who's a defenseman, and a 3rd for a 2nd, 4th, and Geertsen. No, thank you. Okay, so yeah, our record is really good now. So let's see, what was our record? 25, 19, and 6, I think. We're still 4 points back of the San Jose Sharks. Let's take an updated look at the player stats, and then we will check the league and see if there's been any trades, and then we'll see what's on the trading block that could help us out. So Sakic, 45 points in 50 games. He's definitely leading the way. Forsberg, 37. Fleury, 34. Hayduk, 33. And then everybody else is 27 and below. But a lot of good depth point scoring, it looks like. Especially on the defensive core too. I'm surprised that a lot of these guys have been able to score goals. 3 defensemen with 8 points each, too. Okay, and in goaltending wise, Patrick Waugh, yeah, killing it. Might be a Vezina trophy winning season if he continues like this. I don't know how Brodeur is simulating at the moment, but he's playing really good. And then, yeah, Billington's kind of struggling, but then again, he's a stand-up goalie, so that might be the problem. Let's take a look at the entire league so far, 50 games in. Curious who's leading the league in points. Currently, it's Pavel Bure, 49 points in 48 games. Wow. Good stuff. And then Tommy Kallio. Okay, that's like a really weird one because Kallio is like one of those guys that never played really in the NHL, but to see him almost point per game is kind of ridiculous. Pierre Turgeon up there. Ray Whitney is also up there, so Florida must be putting up a lot of goals. Just kind of weird because they didn't make the playoffs back in these days. Yager's up there. Okay, that's good stuff. How about goaltending leaders? Martin Brodeur is leading. He's been doing even better than... Jeez, yeah, there's been some really insane goaltenders. Brodeur's got 5 shutouts. He's 29-11 with a .936 save percentage and a 1.81 goals against average. Damn. Good stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at if there was any trades, and then we'll take a look at the block, and then that'll be it for episode number 2. Next episode will be up on the Friday probably. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna see if there's any trades. I doubt there's been a trade yet, but you never know. Some teams might have unloaded some guys. Yeah, there has not been a single trade yet. We'll definitely check the trades though that happen at the trade deadline every single season, just because like I didn't do that at all with my normal Sens franchise mode that was on. But with this franchise mode, it might be more interesting to look at that. So let's see what's on the block, if there's anything new. So Dostal still, Lacau still. Buffalo doesn't have Rolson up there anymore, so they must be playing good and wanting to keep him as a backup. Victor Fast is though. Tommy Elbeling's still on the block, solid defenseman, but he's a bit old. He's almost like Gusarov on our team. Zatkov, Schrader, JF Berube, and Harava. Harava's more of a depth defender. We don't really need a depth defenseman. Roman Turek is there. Not that we need Roman Turek really, because we got good goalies. Silvanov. Now that's an interesting one, because he would play like 4th line minutes if we wanted to. Like, he's younger than say like Sean Poden. He's not much of a producer, it looks like at the moment. 15 points, and maybe not. McFlickier, Gord Murphy, another older depth defenseman. Adam Creighton, that's not bad either. Sergei Malmeso and Pedersen. Okay. Camphor and Phillips. Angren and Jose Theodore. That's a good one for the future. He's not as good overall wise as like who is it, Billington, but he's a good future goalie. And obviously he did play for Colorado at one point. 1-6-3 though. So he's kind of struggling, but he's on the worst team in the league. Nashville, nothing. New Jersey, Chris Terreri, that's another solid backup, but he's got 2 years left. Lindgren, Janney, and Watt. So actually, Watt would be a solid 4th liner replacement. Yeah, Watt might be somebody we want to look into, because he would be better than Poden on the 4th line, and he's younger. He's got 17 points this year, plus 9. Yeah, Mike Watt might be a good player to trade for. I don't know what we could give up for him. But let me know what you guys think about picking up Mike Watt for the 4th line to like use Poden as depth, and then I don't know what we'll do with what's his name, the enforcer dude. Lead all, Damian Rhodes, no thank you. We don't need a goalie. Graves, Tiffles, Vernon. Wow, I don't know why San Jose wants to give up Vernon if San Jose's been playing so good. Jeff Norton, another solid defenseman. Bob Rouse as well. Sergeyev, some more picks. Toronto has Sean Jersey on the block. Vancouver, nothing. Washington, nothing. And that is it. So I think Mike Watt might be the best option for us going into next episode if we actually want to pull off a trade. We could always trade away like Jeff Odgers for sure or something. But as you can see, if we put in Watt here to replace Poden, we would have a better 4th liner. Like, Poden's not been that bad. He's got 12 points, but Watt's younger. He's got more points. He's a better plus minus as well. So that might be a thing that we want to look into. But it would be up to you guys if we even want to make a trade, because we might be a good enough team anyways just to carry around like this. So guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So next episode, we're going to try and get the remainder of the season done. We're going to do any trades that we can at the trade deadline, if there even is any that we need to do, because the roster's been playing pretty good. And yeah, then we'll take a look at all the player stats around the entire league for the first season, and then see who we're up against in the first round of the playoffs if we actually make it. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.